Alright, hey guys, what is going on? Alright, hey guys, what is going on? So, back with another stream. So, this time I'll be talking about the rest of the WNBA games from yesterday. Not gonna talk about tonight, between the Atlanta Dream and the Connecticut Sun, but we're just gonna recap yesterday's game. So, we're gonna start with, of course, the probably one of the better games of the year. We got the LA Sparks and the Phoenix Mercury. The Sparks had pretty much gotten it together by the fourth quarter in the second, while the Mercury was up by double digits in the first. The Sparks came back and just pretty much took the game over. And by the fourth quarter, you saw Darica Hamby pretty much had one of her best games of the season. Kelsey Plum followed it up with 17, and Ray Burrell off the bench with 20. They was just absolutely on fire. While the Mercury, you kind of feel like everybody was kind of knowing that they are preparing for the rest of the NBA season. They kind of taking it down a bit, knowing that they locked up and secured, I believe, the fourth seed. So yeah, they locked up securing the fourth seed. So they kind of just taking their foot off the gas a little bit. Satu Sabali had a really nice game, and of course Alyssa Thomas with another triple double. I mean, she's just pretty much averaging a triple double all night. She's just on point with 10 and 11 rebounds. Oh, sorry about that. Screen kind of messed up. Anyways, getting back to that, yeah. So, and then Sammy Whitcomb off the bench, she had 11 points in 15 minutes. Kalea Copper and West Bell, Catherine West Bell, the rest of them, they just going through the motions. But still, I feel like the Mercury kind of, knowing that they kind of secured a fourth seed, kind of took a foot off the gas a little bit, knowing that the game was kind of in their own palm, in their own hands. So I feel like with that, they kind of just took their foot, just slightly a bit off, and knowing that I feel as if that they wasn't all the way in the game for a while. So I feel like that pretty much is what took it over. But the LA Sparks with a really good win and getting a good play from Darica Hamby and Kelsey Plum. I wish they would have included Rakia Jackson a little bit more, because he only having 7 points. Especially your player into your second year, you're supposed to be pretty much primarily handling, getting the play. But I wish they would have held and gave a little bit of play to Rakia Jackson. I wish that could have happened. That could have made the game a bit more flourish for the offense a bit. So that's just my thing and why I felt that they could have ensured a little bit more. But still, despite that, they got the win. Really good win for them. And hopefully they can find a way to get into that last spot, heading to the postseason. Because the LA Sparks have pretty much, to me, have been one of the bigger surprises of the WNBA this season. So I like the way they've been playing. I like the way they kind of been contestedly giving out the best matchups, especially against the Storm and especially against the Vegas Aces. They've pretty much been having a lot of the matches going in their favor in the first half. And defensively, they're kind of stepping up a little bit. So, yeah, good win for them. Now, let's get to the game that was revitalizing, probably going to be the closest outcome. It's the Seattle Storm and the Golden State Valkyries. Storm won by a single point, and the Storm outscored the Valkyries in the second and fourth quarter. They outscored them by 9 in the fourth quarter. And from what I gathered and watched, Veronica Burton had a double-double, and of course, Janelle Salon had 22 points. And I feel like even though they're missing Kayla Thornton, which is their big and primary key, I feel as if they pretty much, and they got back Cecilia Zaladena Celini. I figured pretty much they got her back into the lineup, even though she really didn't have as much of an impact. But missing Kayla Thornton is a big thing. It's a big deal, because that's pretty much your star forward. She's your star player, and she pretty much galvanizes the offense, gets the offensive rhythm and emotion. So having her, if they have her, or at least get her back into the fold, I feel like the Golden State Valkyries are pretty much throw their hat in the ring as far as still being in the postseason and hopefully getting the 7 seed, or even in the 8 seed. I still feel like they be a ways away of giving a lot of teams challenges. Man, they're gonna be a bit of a problem for a lot of the top contending seeds in the Western Conference. Now for the Seattle Storm, I feel as if for me, Nneka Agumake and Skylar was carrying the team in the past several games, but this time Brittany Sykes came through and Erica Wheeler. She could get hot and get streaky at times. She had 17 points. She was hitting at least 3 for 7 from the 3-point line. She can get hot. She can get streaky at times, especially if you leave her open. But Brittany Sykes came through and did her thing. I like the fact that they came in and just started to rhythmic and motion and timing, and they kind of really started to fold down the stretch because, like I said, they're gonna have a problem with rebounding. That's gonna be their main problem, and inconsistencies as far as scoring presence and throwing a punch. I don't know if they're gonna really find their way into getting themselves keeping involved in games because of the lack of a rebounding presence. Besides Nneka Agumake, so yeah, that would be my thing. That would be the issue for them, is the rebounding. But I feel like, and it's plus, especially Gabby Williams being so inconsistent, man. I don't know. I just don't really like the way she's been kind of not been handling the rock like she should, and not being as dominant of a presence as she should be. Ezzy Matt Mabager, I think that she could be a lot more involved in the offense because you just can't go 26 minutes and only having 6 points and 9 rebounds. You're supposed to be a dominant force, and you are not showing that in these past several games. It's just been showing that for the Storm, and that's my main problem with them, is the lack of the presence for the centers and the fours and the five. I'm not really seeing that extra gear, that withal, and I don't know if they're gonna they can make that up in the postseason. But that's gonna be a problem for them, for the Storm, and that's gonna be a problem overall, and that's plagued them throughout this entire year. And for me, even though they won this game, and hopefully they secure that playoff seed, but it's gonna be hard for them to really in this next game or so. Yeah, it's gonna be hard for them to continue to be on a roll because they're very inconsistent. But still, with the good win for them, I gotta give it to them. They did their thing, and overall they made a lot of they made some shots. They executed it well, and they kept the foot on the gas. And Golden State just didn't have an answer in the fourth. So really good win for them. And yeah, I like the way their effort is. I like the way that Skylar and Nneka really played. Brittany came through, so that was nice. And Erica Wheeler hitting some threes. That was really nice for them. All right, now let's go to the Minnesota Lynx and the Indiana Fever. The Fever were pretty much on point the entire step of the way. The Lynx did not have Nafisa Collier nor Dejani Carrington. I believe they was kind of sitting out, and preparing them, for the playoffs, because it didn't seem like they wasn't really needed, because they pretty much locked up and secured the 1 seed. But the Fever, they had to win their games in order for them to still stay alive for the playoffs. And since they won today's game against the Lynx by the score of 83-72, they moved into the 6th seed, and I believe because Golden State lost, they moved down to the 7th seed. So that's a good thing for them. But starting off with the Indiana Fever, let's talk about them real quick. So Kelsey Mitchell and Odyssey Sims have pretty much been absolutely the two standout players for them. Number one, because of their play and because their involvement with the offense, making the offense go a lot quicker and faster with the pace. And the pace was just there on point throughout the entirety of the game. And even in the first quarter, You saw that Kelsey was just able to get it on point. Odyssey Sims passing and hitting Lexi Hole, hitting Aaliyah Boston in the post. That kind of helped to maneuver everything for the offense. And Minnesota with Bridget Carlton, she kind of got in the foul trouble a little bit. Another thing, Elena Smith did her thing. You know, she tried to make a difference. Try to slow Natasha Howard and that offense down for the Fever, but it was just too faster pace and they just couldn't keep up. Jessica Shepard, she did okay, but Kayla McBride and Courtney Williams absolutely struggled. They were not good at all throughout the game. And like I said, you kind of could tell that without Feezy, without DeJohnny Carrington and the defensive presence for the Lynx, you can tell that was absent and that was present for them because defensively they was not able to get any stops when they get in a transition. And you know, a lot of teams don't understand, a lot of players don't understand, and a lot of media analysts don't understand. You don't want to show your card not to bring your A game and your best effort, you know, heading into the postseason. You want to keep bringing on your A game, and you don't want to just let up or just let down, because that would pretty much just show your card and who and the team would just expose yourself and just expose yourself even further and show your team your card in your hand overall. So that would be a thing that I would worry and look out for if I was the Lynx. But as for the Fever, that was a really solid win, and again, I'm happy for them because they showing why as a team that through all the moves, throughout all the signings of the guards, throughout signing Aerial Powers, and because of the injuries with R. McDonald and Sydney Colson, and signing Odyssey Sims, and having Petty more in the lineup, Brianna Turner more in the lineup, Damaris Dantes in the lineup, you know, getting them involved is a key thing. It's a big thing for them. You know, to have them more forward, I think that was a big reason, a big deal for them. And then for the Lynx, they'll be all right defensively. You know, once they get their players back, they'll be okay. They'll be on point. They'll be pretty much locked down through the playoffs. I pretty much think they're going through the motions now, so they'll be okay. I'm not too much worried about them at all. Just them losing. They're not really a team that I'm really worried about. When we get to the playoffs, we really are pretty much going to see the top level teams and who they really are at the end of the day. So I'm not really worried about as much with the Lynx with this loss for them, but I'm just more excited and ecstatic for the Fever, the way that they've been playing, the way they've been aggressive, and the way they're attacking in transition. That really is making things fun. All right. And last game, most certainly not least, is we got to talk about the story of the season, and that is the Las Vegas Aces, and they're on this 15-game winning streak, and primarily, in my opinion, and my concern, you know, unless Feezy comes back and, in my opinion, just steals the show for the league MVP, I'm sorry, man. As much as Nafisa Collier has been dominant all year, and I would have thought that she would have locked up and secured a win, man, Asia Wilson is just pretty much showing an answer, is just saying, look, man, you gotta give me some love for the MVP too. That's the way I've been carrying this team and putting this team on my back. And she has been putting the team on her back these last 15 games. And Chelsea Gray also, let me just add that as well. She had to become and get back to the point guard status that, you know, was put on her, and of course Jackie Young, how she had to step her game up and everything else. And having Alyssa Smith as inconsistent, she's been Aaliyah Nye, she's been inconsistent. Kia Stokes averaging like 5 points a game. Like Asia Wilson had to bring her A-level game, what she did last season, and when that time they won the championship, she had to bring that 2023 time when they won the championship and level of stature there into being on this big winning streak, knowing that, man, the playoffs is there on the line. We got to turn up. We got to get in there. We got to be involved with it, because they was on the outside looking in at first. We didn't know if they was done or not. But, man, Asia Wilson pretty much secured herself to be in the league MVP probably for the 4th time. And I think with that being said, that's going to be a thing that's going to be question marks that the media is gonna be asking, like who secured that bag, and I feel like A'ja Wilson has pretty much secured that bag for league MVP at this point in time. And as I'm speaking, September the 10th, 2025, I feel like she's kind of secured that bag right now as the league MVP. But I feel like she's worried about winning another championship. Just like the team is worried about focusing on winning the championship at this point, because I don't think those awards and everything matters to them at all. But winning the championship, winning the WNBA finals is what matters in a lot of opinions to a lot of these women's competitors. But for the Aces, yeah, it definitely means something to them. So that was a really good win for them, and a win over the Chicago Sky. For the Chicago Sky, I've seen a lot of people, a lot of media members kind of been looking at Angel Reese and complaining about what she's been saying about the team, and the frustrations that she has with the front office, the leaders, and the coaching staff, and the team. Well, let me just tell you something and how Angel has a point. Number one, you have people like Rebecca Allen, Rachel Banham, Maddie Westbell, who, even though she's built a relationship, they should not be having games where they're struggling from the court, struggling from the field. This is just absolutely atrocious numbers, man. 7 points, 4 points, 9 points. They combined for 22 points in total combined in the single digits. That is absolutely ridiculous. You cannot be serious with that. And also, what is it with a lot of the people not criticizing the front office? When the front office literally bought Kia Nurse back and bought a 37-year-old point guard and Courtney Vandersloot back, who didn't even play in this game. Why are you not addressing the elephant in the room if you're these WNBA, front office, league offices, and corporatists? And also, why are you not addressing Jeff Palogua? If you're the WNBA, if you're the front office, I mean, you got to be looking at these people and just say, look, you guys are not getting it done. You guys are not putting in the effort. And that's the thing that I would say is a big problem if you're any Chicago Sky fans. Yeah, this team is going to continue to be garbage. And if Angel Reese is concerned, I would be trying to look somewhere else, because this team is going to continue to be where it's at, with no structure, with no kind of effort or wherewithal. I would be looking somewhere else, because at the end of the day, when you losing like this, you pretty much are playing like you don't even want to be here. And they play like they don't even want to be there at this point. With no effort, it felt like they were just on the court, just lifeless and effortless and soulless. They didn't have no kind of fight at all. So yeah, man, I would be wanting to go somewhere else if I was Angel. And definitely not for the Sky. Probably go. I think her best bet is to probably go somewhere like the Golden State Valkyries or probably the Dallas Wings. I feel like they would get people and get pieces and get talent to help or go alongside with her and Paige. Because Chicago is just showing you, and Jeff Palogua said in his statement addressing the comments that Angel Reese made, they wanted the offense to go through Camilla, and they've always been that way since the beginning point of the season. So, yeah, in my opinion, go somewhere else if I was Angel Reese, because they don't want you there. The fans, they still like you, but the media and the certain team, the way they were showing that card. I've heard people like Candace Parker and Angel McCoughtry, what they had to say. It's like, it's purposeless, it's meaningless. But yeah, getting back to this game, yeah, the Aces winning was a microcosm of just their season kind of just being as successful as it could be. And I'm happy for them, and they deserve that win. And I think A'ja Wilson is going to pretty much secure and wrap up the MVP slot at this point, because she's pretty much leading all of the women right now in all statistical categories for the WNBA of this season. So, yes, this is a really big step up. So tell me what you guys think down in the comment section down below. I want to thank you guys for watching, liking and sharing and subscribing. It helps boost the algorithm, helps boost the channel up. I'm going to continue to cover the WNBA playoffs. When it happens, I'm continuing to cover the WNBA, and also gonna talk about the NFL possibly tomorrow or tomorrow, Thursday, as we are saying it now. But yeah, look for more videos coming pretty soon. I just been kind of feeling down over some other stuff going on personally. But yeah, man, thank you all for watching, and yeah, I will be on out of here. Yep, I'm out of here. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.